Yankees take 2 out of 3 in Chicago. We got new rotation, returning members. Nestor, angsty in the bullpen. Let's talk Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy, Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme, and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talking Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy, and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy, and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talking Yanks. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. We got BBD producing in the corner, brought to you by SeatGeek. And the Yankees won the first 2 games. They avoided the rubber match. They did not get the sweep. Sweeps are hard to get. It was windy in Chicago. Jake, how you doing?
James, Davis, everyone tuning in. Happy first NFL Sunday for all those enjoy. Some beautiful weather in the Pacific Northeast. And, yeah, man, the Yanks get off the schneid a little bit. All the rubber matches, we break that streak. We break the losing series streak we had been on. Give it. Anthony Rizzo returns to Chicago. So I'm doing pretty well, man. Was live streaming before this, doing some of our football stuff, but excited to lock back into Sunday Yankees mode, especially when you're right, man. I mean, we're another week closer to playoffs, and we had some pitchers show out, and there's groundskeeping, and then usually we burn through the series. We do a little bit of Pride of the Yankees, Yankee MFer, and then some awards that we've come up with that usually have a link or a tie to something you may or may not be familiar with.
Yeah. That's about
How are you doing?
the run of the show. The weather's been amazing. Pacific Northeast, would you have that as Spokane?
No, because that's not the Northeast.
It's the Pacific Northeast.
Right. It's just over here, but you just change oceans. The Pacific's Northeast is still over here.
I don't know. I think I would go Pacific Ocean, and then all the land that you consider Pacific Ocean land, and the most northeast
North
you can
America.
go. I think I have it. I think a river goes to Spokane, so I think I'm giving that Pacific Northeast.
North America touches Pacific. Northeast.
Not following.
You had the whole
Hudson
thing.
Bay?
Just kind of blew your mind.
No, it makes no sense. But the Yankees,
Yeah.
interesting series. There's some good for sure to take from this series. There's some what's real and what's not real. There's some bad, maybe. I don't even know if there's that much bad. The bad is bad I'm not worried about. Does that make sense? Judge?
Yeah, Judge obviously is Judge. That's not fine. I guess you could point at today and I don't know, the Glaber play in the first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If that loses,
it's not new.
If that loses a playoff game, like that.
Yes. But it's not. It's not I guess that's just not actionable until Birdie comes back and replaces him and end of games. Glaber's hitting.
Yeah,
he's gonna play.
I think I found what you're looking for. There's more good new news than there is new bad news.
Yeah, there's not much new bad news.
Closer, Clarke, Nestor.
Yeah, they switched the closer.
The offense ends up being pretty lackluster this series, but it was enough to win 2 games. So there's a couple things you could point to, but it was a pretty standard baseball series.
That's where the offense was lackluster for both teams.
Right.
Judge and Stanton and Wells today hit balls. I didn't check the numbers on Wells. Judge and Stanton hit balls that are gone if the wind's not 30 miles per hour blowing in, or whatever that stupid graphic said. If you look at the spray chart and the numbers, Judge and Stanton hit homers anywhere besides a very windy Wrigley Field. Dansby, he popped Clarke or Heel, and that ball's gone. So offense was just down.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure just wind-related offense. So that's where, like, on the pitching front, like, all of the Cubs pitchers looked nasty, too. So what's real?
Right.
Is kind of the bigger question. But it's nice that everyone pitched well.
First series since September 5th through 7th, almost same dates, 2014 that the Yankees did not hit or allow a home run. So,
how about that?
Yeah.
No homers this whole series.
None.
Wind was blowing.
And so is
Even
SeatGeek. Jim told you about SeatGeek a little bit.
Yes,
Make sure you're using code YANKS15. That's YANKS15. Go see a game. We were telling our guy Tech Mike, you got to go to the Bronx in September. Different energy in the stadium. Mock turtleneck season coming in. Go see your team, or maybe your team's out of it. You can go see anything with SeatGeek. If there's seats being sold there, it's on SeatGeek in the SeatGeek app. Code YANKS, 15% off your next order. And that's if you've ever used the code or anything before. You just save 15%. So download the SeatGeek app today. YANKS15.
Would Stanton's double in Game 3 today have been a homer if it wasn't windy?
Our guy, Pete
checking
Crow.
Checking the numbers. Exit velo, 97.8. Launch angle, 28. So maybe some ballparks. No ballparks. That's not enough. It's not enough exit velo.
Our guy, Pete Crow Armstrong. Tough series for a young, awesome defender.
Dude, it was windy.
Yeah.
Like, it was windy and sunny and crazy. Yeah. Where do you want to start?
I think the groundskeeping.
Is there any? I'm going to check. BBD does some good notes. Beebs, do you have notes today?
I didn't do the notes in there.
I don't know if there is any groundskeeping.
And the guys came back and they made associated roster moves with that. Nick Birdie was DFA'd. Hamilton's back. Don't believe we saw him, but he's back. Clarke's back. Heel's back.
Hamilton, Clarke, and Heel. Those are the big ones.
Well, those
Phil
are all part of
Bickford out.
They're all part of the rest of the show.
Sure.
I don't think there's the team's the team. Like, Birdie is the only thing that is interesting. He's still in AAA getting the Drury treatment. But Oswaldo's not playing at all. Trent Grisham's not playing at all. So they could just switch Birdie and Oswaldo or Birdie and Trent, but he's not going to play. So it's nothing of note. So the team's the team right now. There's nothing happening down on the farm that they care about.
John Birdie hitting .529 at AAA. 1.315 batting or OPS.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't even know where, like, if I'm clamoring for Birdie because he's not going to start. It would just be a defensive replacement for Glaber at the end of games, and we kind of already have guys that can do that.
Yeah, I mean, the secret third option that they've had Birdie playing left field in the minor leagues is that you could actually sit Verdugo against lefties, and that would be your righty against a lefty starter. But again, we'd have to see a lot before that.
Yeah, and they're not going to do that because they won't even do that for the Martian.
Right, but that's exactly why they might do it for Birdie.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Verdugo's playing. I think they feel very proven right with his recent results.
Yes, but I mean, his career versus lefty numbers are still awful, and he's been awful versus lefties. That's the only thing in play.
Yeah.
And they had said during last series, whenever the check-in on Birdie's status was going to play this week and then in play to return anytime. So I guess potentially going to be back by the next time we talk here.
Yeah, I think that's them saying we don't know. Like, yeah, anytime someone gets hurt, he's up. Otherwise, nothing.
Greg Allen.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all we got.
Okay.
We got a lot of fun stuff from the games, though.
Potential closer, 2 new starters. Yanks are back.
burn game 1.
Okay. Yankees looking to start one heel of a road trip with Luis Heel returning to the bump as Anthony Rizzo returns to Chicago for the first time. Wiki as the Yanks take on Jordan Wicks for the Cubs. Top tree. Here comes the Judge. Little double. RBI double. Torres scores. And then Austin goes to the Wells once more with the 2 RBI single scoring Soto and Judge. It's 3-0 Yanks. Heel was electric. 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, 0 earned runs, 7 Ks in his return. To Cousins, to Canely, to the Weave Dog for the save. Yanks shut out the Cubbies 3-0 on the Friday matinee game. Let's go, Yanks.
Heel of a series.
Who's that?
This was a good little game. It was real boring. This whole series was real boring in the middle because there was no offense.
Yes.
And then like exciting at the end because it was a close game and you're all of a sudden like, ooh, one mistake here. Like you walked into the stream lounge where we were watching at one point and you were like, I miss anything good? And we were just like, nah.
Yeah.
I went back and I rewatched before the show today. You know, it's September, Jake.
Yeah.
I got to lock in for the people at home.
Thank God.
Yeah. I went back, I rewatched every heel pitch, studied kind of like his pitches per inning and times through. Same with Clarke and Nestor, so I could have good informed opinions. Heel was not sharp. I thought he looked nasty. The results were amazing. I hope it translates. But I went back and watched and I remember we're listening to the post game Flaherty. Like the fastball was all over the place. Velo was down, which I don't think matters because it was still sat 96.
95, I think, which I don't know, for heel that's a little below what you'd expect.
Lowest of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. The slider Flaherty was talking about on broadcast, like it's not that sweeping slider. It's kind of more of the bullet slider. It was in the zone a lot, and they just kept popping it up. So again, that's where I'm like, this was great, but I don't know if he does that in a not windy day game, like against a different team, what it is. I'm excited for heel. And the fact that he just has length and like pumping it, but yeah, the results are great. If you go back and like look at the pitches, it was kind of like, oh, that's awesome that happened.
Yeah, it's I mean, dude, I'm thinking about where we're at. That the fact we can be critical about 6 innings, 1 hit is a good thing. But yeah, it's a
everything gets judged as a playoff thing,
right? And hey, the Cubs have been playing really good baseball against lesser teams of late. You know, they play at that ballpark all the time, from what I understand. And yeah, it's for Hill and his next step, it's anything you could ask. So no matter which way you cut it up, I mean, the velo thing is going to be interesting to track just as the starts go on. Like, was that Luis Heel not being dialed up because it was a Friday day game and the Yanks kind of, I don't want to say they faux IL'd him, but they were pretty excited to IL Heel, and then he had like a rehab start and another start pretty cleanly. So I don't know. It's just something to watch. Again, double Tommy John. This guy's never been close to these innings. What is it? And that's what we're going to find out in the next few starts.
At the end, he did like dial it up. Like he threw a 98 mile per hour to Hap, like the third time through. He went 1 inning. I think the 4th inning, no fastballs. Pretty cool. He introduced the changeup. Like he got Happer on a first pitch changeup the second time Hap came up, which is cool. But I did like that. He was only fastball slider the first inning. And then like the 4th inning, it was like 6 pitches and it was no fastballs.
Yeah, it's
Kinda
funny.
cool.
I don't think it was the 4th, maybe the 3rd.
Whatever Hap came up again. So
yeah, 3rd was the 6-pitch inning, changeup, slider, changeup, slider, changeup.
Yeah, no fastballs. Kind of stood out. I was like, oh, that's cool.
6-pitch inning like that.
Yeah. Yeah, changeup got some early swings from some of them.
Yeah, I'm fascinated to see where the pitch mix ends up landing with Heel, because we saw him go fastball changeup to like, hey, he needs a slider, to changeup fastball. Like the changeup was so electric that he was leaning on that. That now it's been fastball slider for a while now in a chunk of this season. And like you talked about, the shape has been interesting. We've seen it have cut days. We've seen it have down days. We've seen him mix in both. As we're tracking him for what's lining up to be a playoff start, it's going to be fun to see.
I think he's going to have to, and it's tough because sometimes he doesn't have a feel for both. Best laid plans, he has a feel for both, and he uses the changeup against lefties, slider, righties, because even in this game, I believe the lefties just put the slider in play. Yeah, 12% whiff from the lefties on the slider, where on the fastball and the changeup, 50%, and then righties, 55% whiff on the slider. So best laid plans is probably like, 50%, 25-25. Fastball, slider, change. Change was way down in this one. One game, he went 50% changeup, 30% slider, 18% fastball. The fuck game was that?
What a year,
Weird.
man.
What's that?
What a year from him. Like
It's crazy.
He's been like taken out of the rookie of the year conversation, which is kind of insane because as I've tried to introduce Austin Wells more into the conversation.
Well, isn't Austin Wells in the conversation?
Yeah.
He's going to get second.
Odds have him there.
June 26th. Not a great start. He also, the ERA is good. This one helped get it back down 3-2. He did have a bad chunk for a little bit. Heel.
Yeah, it's just funny, the narrative timing game. If Heel had his electric run he was on right now, would probably be one of the hottest topics.
He's going to start against, he could start 1, 2, 3, 4. He could start against Kansas City, or he could start against Boston, depending on how they play that. And then if he starts there, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Seattle, Oakland. How many more starts could he get? 1, 2, 3, 4. Start. 1, 2, 3, 4. Start. 5 starts? Seems like a lot, but I guess that can happen. Anyway, this game was 3-0, and I was talking to you in the stream lounge, and I was like, hey, let's not score any more runs and see how they operate in a safe situation. Kind of like,
I think all Yankee fans were kind of on that wavelength too.
Well, when I tweeted it out, that group of people acted like
they're not people. That's not humans.
Yeah. They're like, oh, but it's like, yeah, obviously this is what you want to see. And they go to Cousins first, then Canely, then the Weave Dog for the save. And Boone said afterwards it just fell that way. Like he says that they chose Cousins because the lane was best for him, then chose Canely because the lane was best for him, and then Weave Dog just was what was left, which is a back-assed way to compliment Weave Dog for being chosen as the closer when the next day they had Weave up to close as well. So instead of just giving Weave Dog the compliment, for some reason they said, no, it just landed that way. I thought that was weird. They all looked really sharp, though.
Yeah, they were. I mean, the laugh we had in the live stream lounge together was, wow, kind of everyone. I mean, Weave Dog came out and he looked incredible. He got in slight trouble, but everyone, like Tommy Canely, looked his best.
Yeah, he looked great.
We were laughing because we're an organization that wants the Yankees to believe in competition more, and it was like, the first day the closer role's been up for hire this year, and your relievers look better than they've looked. Weird.
Tommy Kahnle opened Talkman up first pitch slider, and Talkman just gave him a double take. Like, what, dog? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Those two, man.
And then how did the runs come in this game?
It was one inning. It was Austin Wells with 2 on an RBI single, and it was Judge with 1.
And at that point, it was nice to see Austin Wells, 1, return to the lineup after getting hit in the hand, and then come through in his first at-bat with a nice knock.
Yeah, that was the other. Laughing is probably the wrong term, but yeah, there was a little bit of the Yankee question mark because of how coy they like to be if Austin Wells was actually hurt or if they were just taking off days where they got him. So yeah, that was huge.
Want to know what else you and I laughed at that I
Yes.
have thought about during
that?
this game when we were watching it together?
Mm.
When Flaherty and Kay were bickering and Kay dropped the line, "Wow, you're building up quite the narrative here." And you and I laughed because it was a clear joke. And the rest of the world didn't laugh nor understand the joke. Kind of odd that more Yankee fans didn't come out and be like, that's how Kay and Flaherty talk to each other for 20 years now.
Yeah, I mean, that was
Kay going with I hear you like Ruocco better. I mean, that's
yeah.
to not I guess if you just don't listen to them a lot, you wouldn't understand the humor in it. But like,
was,
or to understand that that's how they talk to each other all the time.
Yeah, that would have been a good case study for a college class of like, watch how the internet can run with this for 22 hours.
I think Joseph in the live chat right now, so the Post ran an article. Like, it went like real big.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, so this is just people that don't watch the broadcast a lot?
I think they were just going to talk like that for real to each other on the air.
Got a couple clicks.
Got a lot of clicks.
Got a couple
so I'm here to let anyone know that's Jake and I laughed. It was funny.
Yeah, I mean, that was Kay and Flaherty. I mean, Flaherty has a little bit of realization. Like, they're bringing new guys. They're, for the Red Sox series this weekend, I bet it's what? Kay, Cone, O'Neill?
Yeah.
Or it's Kay
Flash
and one
might
of
be
them?
in the booth or in the Stanford.
Flash understands that there's a slight pecking order, and that's a bit of the game, and you can't tell from his monotone voice, but he keeps up. Like, everyone there loves Flash, and like that's where Kay is the best with Flash because he gets it out of him.
Yeah. They were both it was just dry humor.
And I don't know if you heard, but Flash went to a bachelor party there once for his brother.
Ooh.
2 Cubs games.
Kay kept bringing that up. Was getting me.
I thought the whole intro by Flash was funny. He was like, yeah, I was thinking on the bus ride here, I had a lot of time to think because you didn't talk. Kay's like, I was sick. I told you I wasn't feeling good. I thought it was good. I was shocked how much steam it had from the outside non-Yankee world.
They had to address it.
Dressed up, man. Night out on town in Chicago. Wow. Glaber in the post game. Looking sharp.
They heading somewhere? Kansas City tomorrow?
Weaver had a great quote about being the closer. Just said, like, I don't know, I blacked out.
Yeah.
Something like that. It was funny.
Yeah, he started it with like I wish I had a better answer for you, but.
Yeah, Hokie had it. I loved it. I was like, yeah, dude, this is like how a closer should talk. I couldn't see straight. I was blacked out for the most part. I was on pure adrenaline, but it was a great time. Yeah, he came out zipping fastballs.
Yeah, he lost. Was it Happer? But yeah, I think he was 1-2 or 0-2 to go like clean inning, beautiful, like Cousins, Kahnle, Weaver masterclass, and then he was like overthrowing his split change or whatever it is, belly. And he ended up walking him, but yeah, I mean.
And then Paredes put up a big fight. Like, they just kept going, same pitch, fouling everything off, and eventually got the ground out. Which was, I think, a nice play by Glaber to end that one.
Yeah, Glaber.
Or maybe just
Glaber ended up at shortstop, and everyone had a second of like, oh, hold your breath. We haven't seen this in a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's at shortstop. It's a
Yeah,
nice throw.
I mean, he's got to be aware of the scouting report on Paredes there because, he made this play to end the second game, right? Didn't he also have a play in game 2 where he came across the middle and he throws it like as soon as it hits the glove? He takes like 3 steps here slowly and throws it to get Isak out.
Isak.
All right, let's go to game 2.
Game 2 is brought to you by Tommy John. I wear Tommy John, and you should too. Most comfortable underwear I've ever worn. I can't travel without my Tommy Johns. I can't really start a day without my Tommy Johns. Whether I'm doing something athletic and I need the lads to breathe down there, if I'm getting ready for a night out, it's Tommy John season. It's all I have. It's all I have. Clip that. Shop Tommy John right now. Huge summer savings. Get 25% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/Yanks. That's 25% off. TommyJohn.com/Yanks. See the site for details. I'll show you my Tommy John if that's really what you guys want. But go get yourself a pair. Kind of the best thing in my wardrobe. How about that?
Game number 2 in the wind.
Let me see your Assad. Javier Assad going against Clester. Clarke and Nestor teaming up against the Cubbies. Top 1, Wells. RBI ground out, but Yanks squander an opportunity to put a crooked number on the scoreboard. It's 1-0 Yanks. It would stay that way until the 6th. The Judge stole one. Steals third. The throw gets away as Betancourt sends it to left field. It's 2-0 Yanks. Jimbo, it'd stay that way. Clarke for 4.2, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 75 pitches. Nestor, 4.1, 0 hits, 0 earned runs, 3 Ks, 48 bullets out of the pen. A pitching plan has never worked better as the Yanks. Let's get Anthony Rizzo. Yanks win 2-0.
Another electric offensive performance from the Yankees. Scored the first run in the first inning on a ground out. Scored the second run on the double steal error. And that was enough. Drew Smiley. Tough.
New pitcher out of the bullpen, man. That's like my favorite baseball move. It's a hole. Like the human brain, if you're a reliever coming out of the bullpen, you just got tapped into the game for a certain hitter, and you have to put so much mental energy into that Aaron Judge, the 6'7", 280 guy leading off second base, you can't input that maybe they're going to double steal. It's one of the best moves.
I just credit Jazz. Just pushing him up. Let's get Jazz on second, Judge said. He's fast. Yeah, Drew Smiley first, and then the next pitch Smiley threw was a pop out to end the inning. First pitch, double steal, error, Judge scores. But Clarke looked good. A lot of pitches, 75 pitches through 4 faced, but he didn't even face the order. He faced 17 batters. I think it was 5 pitches a batter. He was getting into deep counts with a lot of guys. He was throwing the kitchen sink at him like every pitch. And his cutter on the outside was his sharpest pitch. I still think he should throw his curve more. I was watching it back, and I was like, damn, that curve's nice.
Pretty brutal. I mean, his last at-bat is the Patrick Wisdom quote-unquote triple that was, A, win Sunball of Wrigley, B, no foul territory at all. So Juan Soto, and in the most proper way ever, gives the screw that. I'll put an arm out and hope for something. It's I do think there's going to be a day when we look back at that and laugh because you have to just have some foul territory.
Oh, I love that there's no foul territory.
At a certain point, you have to pad walls. Ivy grows over padding, and you just give me a foot. Give me a foot. Like some player is going to just face it up, and that's going to be it. There is part of me that likes it. Like I understand what you're saying. But at a certain point, like, we have to evolve.
I love it. And I'm wondering when the World Series were there or playoff series are at Wrigley, what does that ump do?
Bartman.
No, down the right field line. Like, there's no fair or foul.
Right.
If it lands, it's fair. I'm going to go watch.
Right, we'll
Someone go scout that umpire. He did nothing. That guy just could have been asleep.
They all can be. That's the secret.
Yeah, down the line. There's no need for those two umps down the line.
It's nice they get paid. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so.
The off day in the rotation.
Yeah, replay really, there's no more. The chat says, please no more Stan. Chat
Damn.
is kind of doing bad things right now. They're acting like we got swept. Stan's been good.
I think he's got a recent split that's not so hot, but
Yeah, but he's hitting the shit out of the ball. Like, the contact has been great through this stretch still. The ball in game 1 or game 2, I forget which one it is, was rocked. Blown back, whatever. This game was so boring, but good. Like,
Saturday afternoon game.
yeah. Clarke looked good. Nestor looked good. Nestor out of the pen is such a different weapon than Nestor starting. Kind of saw it, and I was like, fuck, yeah, this is such a different energy to bring in the middle of the game when Nestor's just, he comes out in that twitchy mode because he just doesn't need to last as long. Like, Nestor, first inning Nestor, when he starts, tries to be like calm and zen, it feels like, and he got into so many trouble in the first inning this year, right? Like, this dude,
I don't
couple
think
years,
Rodon's been our
2 years
first
ago,
inning
his
guy
third
this
time
year.
through. I thought this year, one of the years. This year, he came out and he was pissy right away. And, like, just throwing strikes. I liked watching that.
Yeah,
And they didn't go to, they let him finish it. 2-0 game.
Well, that's, again, like, there's still a little asterisk on this series because everyone pitched well, so it's kind of hard to quantify anyone at this point. But, yeah, I mean, it was going to become the fun conversation of, like, hey, Nestor's coming out for the 8th. It's a 2-run game. Like, how are they going to navigate this? And, you know, they probably want Nestor to still throw some bullets. Strikes out the first two batters in the 8th. And then he gets Hap, so he's clean through the 8th. And then it's like, okay, so are they going to, in the 9th, like Paredes is coming up, and I think that's a guy, the Tampa crew that gives him trouble is like Yandy Diaz, I think Paredes. Roll them back out there. Go finish it out, kid.
They had Weaver warming. Then they went with Nestor. Then they had Clay warming. That was odd.
A little bit.
But Weaver was originally warming. Nestor shuts it down. You want to talk about Nestor's comments now or later?
We should do a bit now, right?
Guess so. I loved his quotes. I'll bring it up. Nestor was not pleased with being moved to the bullpen. His quote was, obviously, I was upset. I feel like amongst all the starters, I've been the workhorse here. Once Cole went down, they picked me to be the opening day starter, not necessarily the number 1, but the opening day starter. I had to switch my routine there, and now they do this. I'm never going to back down from a challenge. I'm never going to leave my teammates out to dry. You're always going to get my best effort, no matter if I'm happy or not. That's what I did today. I just came out there and proved that I can be put in any situation, and from here on out, if that's what my role is, then I'll accept it. I mean, the only new info of light there was he got asked to be the opening day starter, and he knew it was not a compliment, which we kind of were sussing out when it was going on too. We were like, well, they don't want to mess with Stroman's routine when Cole went down, and they don't want to mess with Rodon's routine, so they're just going to move Nestor because he's pliable. So what is kind of interesting, because like I remember having conversations around the beginning of the year, like, so, and he knows that. He's like, so I'm just the pliable, I can do anything guy, which is what he was billed as when he came up. And he thought he graduated to, no, you're a starter, you're in the rotation, you're a top end guy, we won't mess with you. But because he's so good at changing his habits or coming out of the pen, he gets pegged there. And he hasn't had a good season ERA-wise. He's right. He's been a workhorse. You've been touting that as well. But I like it.
The quotes from Nestor are great. It's everything you want. And I'm Team Nestor. If I'm him, I'm looking at how I've been pitching recently. I've been looking at my year's body of work. I'm looking at my innings pitch. And dude, like, the funny part of that opening day stuff is Stroman really wanted the Bronx opening day. And like that kind of came out. I forget how much that fully came out at the time, but that was a real thing. I mean, guy grew up in the New York area. Like we've seen the energy Stroman's brought this year, and it's honestly been incredible that he wanted that opening day in the Bronx. Okay. Rodon, coming off of the last time we saw him pitch with the team, he just drove away. It's like, okay, like let's see what happens there. Nestor, in a way, he got dinged for, like, I don't know, it's different, like, position eligibility in baseball or being versatile, but it's kind of the thing in, like, youth sports. They say, like, hey, play every position, be a coaches and teams player, but sometimes that hurts kid, because if you're like, well, I'm the third baseman. Well, and then a coach is looking at two players, and he's like, okay, well, that kid only plays third, and the other kid told me he'll fly around, so we need him in right field today. And it's like, well, I don't know. If that kid could play a better third base, maybe we need to reassess that. But Nestor killed it. Like, he landed the quote in the right place, and he got his message out there, too.
Yeah, I liked it. And he pitched fired. And a lot of people were knocking it. I don't think they read the second paragraph, or I just wanted to be pissy, but he's good out of the bullpen. Kind of remember him like as a piggyback bolt guy and being like, oh yeah, like that was a fun time. It was like, going into another gear on the starter all of a sudden has another gear, and he's a lefty now. Rotation wise, I think they're going to eye Clarke and Nestor to go to the pen, and one of them start game 4. And I don't know what. They'll probably put Stroman on the roster because they're paying him money, but I don't know why you would.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things you have to look at. It's are we going to be in a 3-game wild card? If we are, then you can juggle those rosters a lot with the starting pitchers. Because you'll have 3
leave
dogs.
Somebody fully off, but
and like in theory that would be Stroman. In a 5 or 7 game set, you probably want the ability to tap into all those arms if it's the right thing, but it's also we got to check in what's going on in the bullpen. Nestor's numbers this year have been great versus lefties. Stroman's have been decent versus righties. I always thought they might. Like, Clarke might become a bullpen weapon, and your game 4 might be a Stroman, Nestor. Each of you guys get through a time and a half, depending if it's a righty or lefty team.
Yeah, I think that's right. I have Stroman as a one time through 4th starter in a long series right now, with Clarke and or Nestor being like, we're gonna go to one of them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be the other bodies in play, because I still don't think Nestor's like a 1-inning guy. Like, I don't know how many lanes there are like that. So that's what I don't know.
I think they'd use him if there's a lefty situation.
Yeah. I don't know. It gets tricky for me, because then it's like, okay, Tim Hill's a sidewinding lefty.
I think they'd go to Nestor over Tim Hill if there's a lefty lane.
If it was like an escape this inning and do one more.
But then
I guess Tim Hill's kind of done some of that.
If you're going to need that, then do you need Tim Hill? It's where the combos get fun.
Well, you don't need so many of the other bullpen. Like, usually, you got to bring this guy, you bring that guy. Like, it cuts off after 5 bullpen arms, right?
Luke Weaver, Jake Cousins, Tommy Canley, Clay. Hamilton, let's see, but we do know they love Hamilton, that if he looks...
Seems like leg up there.
If he looks good, he'll be on the team.
I think they'd take Stroman and Nestor and Clarke and like all the starters over Hamilton, Leiter, Mesa.
I think Leiter, Mesa for sure right now. I don't think Hamilton, if he looks like a version of Ian Hamilton.
Yeah, he'd have to be so lights out. Hamilton's I've never really been sold on him, I guess, so you have to really see.
They have been.
Yeah, well, yeah. You know, you bake your own cookies, you're going to like them. All right, game 3. Another kind of boring game.
Let me get there. Okay. Gerrit, Cole, and the Yankees would bring their broomsticks to Wrigley to try to sweep the Cubbies. An old friend, Jameson, Taillon. Literally, Cole's on a boat with them Friday. These Yankees are soft. Let's give it Anthony Rizzo. Returns to Wrigley for the first time. In the first, Isaac Paredes, 2 RBI single after the Glaber-Torres error. Would have got Cole out of the first inning clean. And that's all Cole had on the board. 6 innings, 0 earned runs, 7 Ks. The Yankees, they would get one on a Volpe sac fly in the second. It's 2-1. And it's 2-1. They got Pearson and Hodge, baby. Yanks can't get the sweep. Clay Holmes, there you are. Yankees lose 2-1, but they win the series 2-1.
Cole to Clay. Cole to Cousins to Clay.
CCC.
Yeah. Glaber error. Cole looked good after that. Also got happed. Happ made 3 plays in left field. That kind of changed the entire game.
Gold Glover.
Yeah. The one Volpe line drive, he came in sliding to get. Some left fielders don't maybe like secure it because runners are running, and holding up. He made the sliding catch, then up against the Ivy, and then at the end. Like that play is a risky play because if you miss it, Volpe's at third, all runner on first scores, but Happ's a Gold Glover.
It's a do or die. Yeah, I think that one's the best play. I mean, you have to give respect to the wall ball because it is brick.
Yeah, he went up and got it too.
Happer played that off pretty cool at first, and then the grimace every time he got closer to the dugout got a little deeper. The last one was a little for show, and I would tell Ian that he did a little Story hesitation, and then laid out for it. But yeah, I don't know. Again, it's like we said at the start. I mean, in a way, almost every pitcher for every team looked good. So yeah, like, what do you do with that, dude? Is there something in baseball with pitchers knowing they could essentially give up a home run and not give up a home run, and hitters knowing that it's really hard to hit a home run, that these guys were screwed from the start? I don't know. Sweep would have been nice. But all the old Cole Taillon picks. So
Taillon beats him down. I'm interested. Like, all right, home run's not available at this stadium with the wind. Like,
right.
Change your approach. Not a lot of guys are able to. You see Rizzo get hits. You see Happ get hits, switch hitter. Couple different clubs in his bag. Stan only got hits because PCA dropped both of his balls?
I think Stan ended up with 1 hit. The PCA won today.
Who did PCA drop game 2?
Was that Stan as well, but it wasn't a hit? Let me see.
I'm not sure.
That one went off the glove, so they might have errored him on that one, where this one was clean. Yeah, Cubs had 2 errors in game 2.
Yeah. But Rizzo can go the other way, so he got some hits.
Rizzo was the first fly ball drop.
Nice. Anthony.
He's back in Chicago.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
It's very cool. Good baseball town. The 3-day games, like you mentioned, don't see that a lot.
Yeah, I don't see a lot. It's kind of weird. Friday day game. Boo.
City ordinance.
That's a city ordinance thing?
Yeah. I was looking into it.
They don't like loud Friday nights?
Yeah, I think they're allowed to do the night games X number of nights a week, but Fridays, no. Because Wrigley's just in a neighborhood.
But I figured, yeah, I guess. I thought Friday night would be like one of the nights they allow.
Yeah, I think they're open to Saturdays and Sundays. For whatever reason, Friday's just no-go.
Interesting. All right.
Get out and vote, people.
Big debate tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Tuesday.
Tomorrow's tomorrow. You
Tomorrow's
want to
tomorrow.
give out some awards?
Yeah, I think so, right? Nate Pearson.
so.
Were you excited to see him again?
Who?
Nate Pearson.
Is he a Blue Jay?
Yeah.
When he came on the mound, that's what I said to myself. I said, is he a Blue Jay? And then, should I be excited? Do we have memories and history of him? Just the name?
Do you like the
He's an
name Porter
exciting
Hodge?
prospect.
Porter Hodge? No. So that's a tough name.
Kinda. It can kind of be a baseball name. He's good. He's got a good slider.
It's like a fishing name or like, the best like hog wrestler.
Yeah, you'd like to see it in another stroke of life. What's that word?
I just
I'm
see
missing?
flannel.
Phase of life. The Yes app is the ultimate viewing experience on all your devices. You can stream the games. We just did a couple alt streams with the Yes app. Earn Yes rewards by streaming or playing games. Redeem for gift cards and merchandise. If you get Yes on TV, you get the Yes app for free. Download the app or sign up for an annual monthly membership. Click the link in the description.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Yeah.
You get to go first. Luis Heel.
My pride of the Yankees. No, I didn't want to slow us down from before because I thought it was a big topic. I'm going Nestor. Think about how easy the conversation could have been the other way if he came out of the bullpen and was bad. He gave us some of our most competitive Yankee quotes of the year, and that's been the biggest conversation point, I think, around the office, whether it's Dominguez or anything when it comes to Yankees. Josh Donaldson, that's like, hey, treat Juan Soto and Aaron Judge like they're Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. If they go in an 0 for 30, you roll them out there because they are players that have put up historic seasons and perform, and baseball does rear its ugly head. The Yankees need more of a middle class of how they treat their players. Like, it's okay if a guy's not playing well to give another guy a little bit of run. We need you to play better. Competition. Nestor came in out of the bullpen, had arguably the best pitching performance of a bunch of pitching performances. 0 hits in his 4.1 innings. And yeah, whether he's in that swing role, whether he gets a start in the playoffs, it's why I've been on the Nestor train this year, because however the postseason does sort out between some of the other names we've discussed, I'd have Nestor out there, man. That's my guy. That's a guy that he's going to go out and do his thing at any point, whether it's the 9th inning or the 1st or wherever. So, love the quotes, love the performance. Yeah.
Nestor, your pride. Wonder if it was the road home splits at all, like that he's going to get the start at home.
I'd like to think they'd go lefty righty. The home away thing, yeah. I mean, there's still some stuff there.
I'm very interested in if Heel or Clarke is going to piggyback him because they kept their pitch counts high. I don't think so. I think they're just going to go to a 6-man one time through, push Cole back, which is weird.
Get
Yeah,
an extra day.
We still don't have the update. I mean, hopefully we get something from Boone soon, or maybe we get it on Tuesday morning. I know the Red Sox are very left-handed. That, Nestor for them makes sense.
That's what
I believe they said Rodon, Stroman, Heel versus the Royals, which would mean Clarke, Nestor.
So then it
in
would
some
be
order versus Boston.
Nestor,
Clarke or Nestor.
You can go either order, I guess.
Yeah, you can go.
I guess.
Clarke, Nestor, Cole, Rodon.
I
or
guess they'd have
flip the
Nestor
two.
go first. That's just guessing based on get Clarke one more day. Rehabbing.
That pushes Cole to the last game versus Baltimore and not pitching against in the last 3 days of the season. So that's where I get weirded out because I still think he's your ace.
I mean, Cole could still pitch the Friday game, right? And
Versus,
they could just give Clarke or Nestor more rest.
yeah, they could do that. Which then Cole would be 1, 2, 3. That would keep Cole regular rest, actually.
They got options, and they love options.
Which then, that would put Cole in line to do the first game versus Baltimore, last game versus Pittsburgh, which he's been in line right now. Like they need to do that. It's crazy to me if he's your ace, and I do think he is because even when he doesn't look great, he's dominating. They need to do that. So that's probably what we'll do. Cole Friday night versus Boston.
Pester Booney on it.
Yeah.
Where are you going with your pride, Jimbo?
I'm gonna go with the Weave Dog. Imagine if he doesn't close that game.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the conversations. Imagine how giddy Boone would be in the post game and the Yankees. Yeah, well, it's tough to close games. We had one of the best. You guys drove him out of town, forced my hand to make a change, but no, Weave did it. It got hairy. He was blacked out. He couldn't see. Zipping it in there. So, if he doesn't come up with that save, if he makes it scarier than it was, if whatever, we are in for a terrible time. Everyone. You're on from your closer. The next close opportunity, they got to get it done. And he did. So I'm going with the Weave.
I love it. How would you want to handle it the rest of the way?
Cole, Canley, Weave.
Okay.
No,
so
I actually do
Weave
think
or
you should
close,
play.
or-
What?
Like if there's a ninth inning and there's a team, say it's the Red Sox and it's the ninth inning is going to be Devers, and another lefty. Would you
Canley.
save Canley? Okay.
I'd save Canley. I would play it closer by committee like they did. I would just thought it was funny that he couldn't. It wasn't just like they were like, "Why'd you choose Weaver?" And they're like, "Well, actually, we didn't." But I would do closer by committee. Like if it's a tough righty lane, let Cousins. Maybe not Cousins to close just because. Well, Weaver's the same level of new to it, so yeah. If there's lefties coming up, I'd go Canley. Oh boy, I just got a text message that, wow, can you play the passing news? And everyone get very excited because this is about my personal life and nothing that you know or care about. James pooped on the potty. That's unbelievable. That's crazy. Do you know how much that changes my life? Kids get to a certain age, you're wiping their ass still, and it's like, kid,
Figure this out.
I'm not doing this anymore.
Figure this out.
How'd she do that? Anyway, that's huge. Kind of feel bad I'm not there celebrating with him, but
It's a second celebration.
yeah. Weave's my pride.
Good reason. Good pride.
Thank you.
We'll do MFer.
You Yankee motherfucker. You Yankee motherfucker.
Oh, man. Huh? Yankee MFer. I could steal a page out of your book, but that would make everyone not happy.
There's options.
Gerrit Cole and those 2 unearned runs. Glaby stays hitting. You know what? I know you were fending off the rogues in the chat. I'll give it to Stanton. I mean, he is. I think he was 0 for coming into today, and his hit today is a little bit of a sunball that I think on a normal day wouldn't be a hit. But it is, and hopefully that's what sparks him. But yeah, he's in a little. Let me make sure I got the numbers right. He was in an 0 for 15 coming into today. He gets the 1 for 4. But yeah, hey, couple of the big bats have cooled down. It's a badge of honor, really. So
I'm fine with him getting MFer based on the results. I'm just not worried about him moving forward. He still hit the shit out of the ball. Like in this cool stretch, I think he had an out against Kirby Yates that he like smashed.
catch at the wall, Wyatt Langford.
What's that?
The catch at the wall, Wyatt Langford to end the comeback game.
That ball against in this game, I'll find the numbers on it since I keep referencing it. And
I think you already found today's, and today's ball wasn't.
Today's wasn't, but
Yeah.
it wasn't. It was game 1 or 2. Oh, here. 110 exit velocity off of the bat, 25-degree launch angle. Like that's a fucking home run. And it would have been a 2-run shot in the 6th inning on a 2-2 pitch from Assad. And like, you know, look, Beeb, see if you can pull this up. 2-2 pitch, Assad to Stanton. The catcher's reaction's hilarious.
Yeah. Yes, it was one of the better catcher reactions of the year, and it ends up being an out.
Yeah. And like not, like it's like a kind of a comfy out. It was windy. They had the graphic up. That's a great catcher reaction. He's like hiding behind Stan. But yes, so Stan, no results. Feel like every game he hit the crap out of a ball.
He was on like a heater. He got his OPS on the seat. Slugging was over 5. OPS hit 806. And with this recent cold streak, he's dipped. All the stat lines that we were like, hey, they're starting to look like normal season kind of pretty. They've now dipped below that.
He'll come back up.
Come back up.
Get out of that wind, Stan.
No worries.
Decent MFer.
Thank you.
I'll go my MFer. Like Glaber cost us the game, but he's hitting.
Right? It was a tricky MFer. You said there's a couple. I don't know.
Well, there's a ton. I mean, Judge can get it. Soto can get it. Volpe can get it.
That's where it's tricky.
It's just what Jazz didn't do well. I'm not going Judge because he's still getting on base at like a historic rate, even through the slump. Soto dropped that ball. Verdugo I'll go Verdugo because that's what the people want, but I'm only going Verdugo because he has been hitting lately and the Yankees probably feel like such winners right now. But I will go Verdugo because of the double up that he was actually safe on. Because
he got back, Jim.
What?
He got back.
Well, obviously, if he's out, it's a huge conversation. But the fact that he's safe, it's not a huge conversation, but it can't be forgotten.
Yeah.
And PCA dropped a ball in the wind, and everyone was misplaying balls in the wind, and I think he was trying to be sneaky and smart. I think he just drifted a little farther than he realized. Because like the inning before, they dropped the Rizzo ball, or PCA ultimately like dekes him big time, because I watched this back a million times slow-mo. If you go to the spot, you can see that PCA is blinding the sun, pulls his glove down as if he's not going to get it, like lost it. And in that very moment, Verdugo takes a couple more steps, like thinks he lost it. And then Armstrong goes glove back up, catches it, and throws the first right away. So I do think it was a cool little deke by him, or he truly lost it in the wind for a second and then recovered. But Verdugo, no.
Anxious replay review. What was everyone rooting for?
Dude, the other thing is his numbers are good right now. So, like, the Yankees, like, everyone's going to want us to ask Boone about how come there's no lane and Verdugo this and Verdugo that, thinking that they're cornered. They're just going to peacock. Like, all they're going to say is in his last 15 days, Verdugo's had a 333 batting average with a 370 on base, and that's what we wanted and told you would happen. There's not a lot of slug. There's not a lot of rutting. There's not a lot of, like, perceived effort. It doesn't feel or look good. But if we were to ask them the question, they're just going to peacock those numbers and say, and maybe they are. Who knows? I still want the Martian up.
Marciano. Yeah. It's obviously a thought exercise that we as Yankee fans struggle with, and probably rightfully so. And I think the bigger thing would just be you'd like to know what the Martian's going to be. We got a sample from the Martian, and it was a nice sample, and we liked it, and it was the only bright spot that, like, Verdugo as a potential 9-hole hitter that he's been doing, if he can give you a 300 batting average and a 360 on base from the 9-hole, playing left field with making routine plays and having one of the stronger outfield arms, that's a body you can use, which it just sucks that the Yankees hide under the, like, well, we could call Dominguez up and he could be bad. And it's like, well, yeah, and if that happened, you could play Verdugo. So, yeah. I don't know.
No, they think that competition and rotating is out of the question. And, like, I think it gives them the easier out by saying that. Or they truly believe that you can't platoon guys and then make a decision. But that doesn't make sense to me.
So, again, I went a little further tinfoil. I used to date a Tim Hoyle. Tinfoil hat than I normally do. I still think there was just a little bit of that Little Leagues game that was a setup, man. Dominguez had been awful against lefties, and they're facing the Cy Young winner. And now they're showing that they believe in Verdugo and they do not believe in Dominguez. I don't know, man.
I think it was, and I don't think it was a setup. I think it was, we get an extra guy, let's use him to give other guys day off. That's what they do all the time. Regular order awards.
They're brought to you by DraftKings, man. It is DraftKings season. The #1 place to bet touchdowns. And our partners at DraftKings, right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will instantly get $250 in bonus bets plus 1 month of NFL Plus Premium. So get in on the action, whether you're looking at parlays, touchdowns, whatever it is. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code YANKS. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $250 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code YANKS only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. It's nice. I was in there a little bit. College football, pro football. You're from New York. We're from New York.
I forgot to say this during the Verdugo conversation. I'm reading the Yankee Way book, which is awesome. Like I started reading, I stopped reading, I didn't have time. I'm starting to read at night so I sleep better. In it, they talk about how there's literally a binder from like 1980 that's the Yankee Way and like all their like training, and it's actually awesome. They've strayed from it, but there was some really cool notes of how they back then and maybe still today view minor leaguers with like hard numbers, which I thought was interesting. They want their minor leaguers to have a 360 on base percentage in the minors. If it's lower than that, they don't think they'll translate to be good because they say you lose around 30 points when you get to the big leagues. So I thought that was cool to have a hard number.
Yeah.
And then they want the slugging to be 420 because if you play into your late 20s, it will naturally, some doubles will turn to homers and all that. So made me go look at like a lot of minor leaguers recently and look at their on base percentage. And like Peraza's nowhere near either of those. So it makes me like, oh, okay, maybe like if that's a hard rule that in the 90s when they built the core four, that was their hard rule for keeping trading. Made me go like kind of see their eyes a little bit. So Dominguez has that, I think.
Yeah, I think Dominguez's numbers are now.
I wonder over how big a sample they would say they need. And obviously the number itself might have changed by now, of course, but it's interesting.
I think I'm going to give out the Hemorrhoids Award.
Nice. Preparation H. Feels good on the whole.
Oh, okay.
Rizzo.
Jim, hemorrhoids, tough. Bad time.
I've had hemorrhoids.
I have
Everyone
too.
has had hemorrhoids. Leave a comment.
Sound off. Tell us about your experience. I must highly recommend taking that warm bath. Hemorrhoids, they can make it difficult to sit. Ow, it's a pain in there. And we just cannot sit Austin Wells come the postseason. Sure.
God damn you.
He's got the RBI, the two knocks in that first, or the two RBIs in that first game with the knock. But Jim, that throw to second base, he's got to be out there. The first one was the example of the modern day how we throw up base runners. That throw up the line. I mean, there were people on Twitter putting out their pop times. I had them at a 1.7. I love it.
It was 191 and 193.
And Pete Crow Armstrong is one of the fastest players in baseball. He just had an inside the park homer that was 14 seconds flat. Austin Wells, I know we do a lot of things to control the run game with the catcher signs, the throwovers. We're using the voices in our heads, but at a certain point, you need a catcher that can throw somebody out, and Austin Wells has that. And obviously, he got a hit against the lefty in that first game. So Austin Wells, you can't sit him.
Can't sit him. The Nico Horner was the better throw of the two, but he got PCA as well.
How do you judge better throw?
Data.
Okay, give me the data.
Pop time was faster, and the miles per hour was higher. So
I thought you said the first pop time was faster.
I just remembered two pop times and said the numbers. I was wrong anyway. 191 and 198. 198 on the PCA one. 191 on the Horner one. And the Horner one was 80.5 miles per hour, and the PCA one was 79.1.
Was that perfect up the line? That's where you got to be these days.
Oh, yeah. And, dude, Glaber's here's an issue. Glaber's way better at tagging on steals. I cross-checked some other best throws by Wells, and two of them Volpe just, doesn't do that tag. One, he missed it, the ball. The guy would have been dead. I forget who it was. And Wells looks at him like, what? No, there's another one that he just picks. Like, it was an errant throw. Like, Volpe goes on defense. It's funny. And Wells just looks at him like a cockeyed dog. What? Volpe's made some nice tags. Glaber's very good at it. A lot of the Venezuelan guys, isn't that the country that, or is it Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico
It's
for
Puerto
Javi.
Rico.
He's the one that
Puerto
kind of
Rico.
started that.
But those are awesome throws. And one, Clarke did a great job keeping them close. Like, that was a full team effort on the Pete Crow Armstrong one. I think he picked him off twice, so he couldn't throw a third time. So they almost like baited him into, like, PCA's like, well, I should steal if you're going, you know. And it was just a great job by everyone there. Wells also took a ball off the face, like the pitch before, or like 2 times in that at bat. He looked good, drove the ball. Hap caught it at the wall, and got a hit off a lefty.
Yep.
So I think we're leaning that way as well. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
he's been starting.
the Yankees have hit their go button, like we talked about, and I know you were tweeting about this weekend, but yeah, I mean, Wells started every game this series.
Even against the lefty, yeah.
Yep.
And he did that when they had 3 lefties in a row. In Washington, he started 2 of 3. And the only reason he sat against Texas twice was because he was banged up. So, yeah, that was a complaint from the crowd when Trevino came back. Wells is a starter.
Yeah.
So, even Cole has pitched to Wells now, like twice in a row. So I don't even know if you're in the playoffs. Like, they should be good going with Wells.
Yes. Yeah, because I mean, even if it's a tough lefty starter, like I don't want Wells, like, Wells is at bats later in the game against what's probably a right-handed reliever, while already being in the game, is more valuable than having him pinch hit for 2 Trevino at bats and burning your backup catcher.
So I think Wells is going to start the first 2 in Kansas City. Trevino will get the last start against Cole Reagans, just because then you got 4 versus Boston, and I'm sure that they're going to want Wells there with that probably offensive series.
Yeah, I mean, it's still catcher stuff, and that's probably,
yeah, I mean, catchers don't start every game.
Yeah, a lot of the crowd's probably not as in deep as we are. That I don't know. There's probably a day night in Boston that Trevino will start the day game there, and he probably starts the Reagan start because he's one of the better lefties in the league against Kansas City.
Yeah, let's see the Boston series.
There is a day game after the night Saturday. Sunday's also a day game.
So, yeah, the Trevino will catch one of the Royals, probably Reagan, which is the Wednesday, and then Saturday. Because they'll still do day after night and all that.
Yeah.
But they should pinch hit Wells as soon as he's out. As soon as the pitcher's out or whatever, you know? In a close game.
Yeah, well, yes.
He looks great.
Yes.
Love his swing.
And they've caught Wells a couple day games after night games. I still would bet they do one.
The other thing
with
that's
Trevi.
crazy is just, I realize baseball's a unique sport, and this is part of what makes it unique, but, the day Wells got called up, there was questions if he would be a major league catcher. And I guess credit to him, because I'm sure he's put in a ton of work to get himself where he is. But, like, he looks every bit of it. Even just, like, the dumb catcher personality stuff, man. Like, he's about it. He's like a dog. He's in it with everyone.
Got a mustache.
Has a mustache.
Gets upset when Glaber doesn't cover the bag.
Yeah. He would like when
Metrics like him.
when he throws to second, if someone could just cover the bag.
How is that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I give out an award now.
Where are you going, Vin Diesel?
I am going with the
Jim
Clear Conscious Award. No. Clear Head.
Clear head.
Yeah. Oh, you okay?
Clear head award.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge.
No, but I see why you didn't get it. It's not the most giving of award
Okay.
names.
That's the game.
Rizzo is a lighter man. His head seems less fogged up. He has just been in games, hitting the ball really well, like going the other way, having good at bats, but his gameplay at first has been delightful. Delightful, man. He's made some plays that are good. He's made heady plays. He's made plays that are like physically, like, okay, hell yeah, he's got that. I'm no doctor. First half before he got hurt looked like the concussion Rizzo. Maybe the wrist actually helped his head.
Wow. Okay. You want me to ask? I know a couple doctors. Chris Ahmad's a friend.
Oh, not a friend.
Not
Never
a
responded
friend.
to your DM.
I guess technically I can't say he's a friend of mine. On Instagram, we are friends. So
No, you follow each other. It's not Facebook.
he's my friend.
He would have responded. Overall point. 1 point it felt like, dude, is Rizzo even worthwhile like rehabbing? I hope I hope Bryce takes off. And then it was like, we need Rizzo. DJ can't do it. We need Rizzo. Like, fuck. Like, can he return to form? And they said that even Rizzo said, like, I was bad before. Like, I want to come back and play better. And he's just looked lighter and like in the game and there. It's awesome. Like that's the good news. Like we said at the beginning, there's new good news. There's not that much new bad news. Rizzo keeps solidifying himself more in some of the defensive plays. Even the defensive attempts had me being like, yes, okay. This was a major pain point, like defense at first. Like I hope he can hit. He's showing signs that he's there and going the other way with balls and swinging with pitches. But the defense, great. There's a point we had no one at first catching or hitting the ball.
I recall. Yeah, when Rizzo went down, there's some people that thought that was it for the season and maybe the career or whatever, and he's found himself in a nice place. We were asking for defense, and I think the at-bat, while the numbers aren't crazy, has been better than what we put our expectations at. God. They like him there, huh?
Yeah, I mean, dude. First World Series win in people's lifetimes.
Yeah, man. It's a good reminder for Yankee fans for like who he is.
Lifetimes.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Cano didn't get that treatment.
Sure didn't.
I know. Got to be similar, like numbers and accolades. I'm not comparing the two at all. I know what the Cubs situation is different.
Yeah.
Just funny being like Cano is fourth fiddle,
Right.
maybe sixth.
Yeah. I mean, where Cano was,
How it ended.
how it ends is always a big part of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rizzo asked to be traded.
Cubs team was shit. Cubs fans agreed.
I'm not trying to compare the two.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get in a debate. I just comparing numerically. And when Cano came back to the Yankees Stadium, I just watched a video where they had people boo him for like Jimmy Fallon or whatever to his face on the street. Kind of a wild video.
Kind of nuts.
Hadn't thought about
Robbie,
that
what do you
video in some
know?
time.
New agency. Okay. Final award.
Your final.
I am going to give out. God, there's two things I want to talk about. How do I want to get there? We kind of talked about that. The Squeaky Voice Award.
Volpe or Verdugo?
Jimmy. Gerrit
Volpe.
Cole. Gerrit
Oh.
Cole. Like we talked about, Gerrit Cole teed it up against Jameson Taillon in this game, and these two have crazy history. Pittsburgh
They
or
were on a boat
They're
just the day prior.
they were on a boat just the day prior. I think it was Friday.
No, but they were on a boat Thursday.
Okay. Day prior to
Then
the day
Friday.
prior. They
Then Saturday.
They stayed on a houseboat with the Taillons. Gerrit Cole and Jameson Taillon go back. These guys are top of the heap draft picks. Pittsburgh Pirates. They've known each other for over a decade. Formative years. Circle back on the Yankees. Who knows if they'll tee it up on the mound. You got to be lined up on the same day. You got to, right now Taillon's in the NL, Cole's in the AL. And who knows if it's their last start, but, technically Jameson Taillon got Gerrit Cole in the start. Now, Glaber's error is the only factor in this game. But I have Jameson Taillon bringing that up to Gerrit, and I have Gerrit's voice going up pretty high. You didn't exactly get me, Jameson. Glaber gets that ball in the first. I think I got you. Again, it turns out very Seinfeld out of me. But these guys are friends for life. Their wives are friends. And I don't know. Hopefully they tee it up again, but this could be the last one. And Jameson gets Gerrit, kinda.
I bet they're just like they text each other and do like what a show. Like we both shoved. Like they were a team effort.
Oh, you think they're that tough? I don't know.
Like the mound was like, we just dominated.
Gerrit references a conversation from 2013 that they talked about.
Yeah. Because Gerrit Cole definitely outpitched Taillon. I don't know if Taillon has any argument.
Scoreboard, bro. Results.
Nah, I don't think anyone cares about that as pitchers.
I think they do.
Cole's good. Cole to Cousins to Clay.
Cole's been great, man. I feel like we haven't really talked about it.
Well, because it looked odd at times. The curveball on the 3-2 pitch to Hap was badass.
Freezing Talkman with the 3-2 pitch. Came in with the inside heater.
Yeah, but it was a get me. If Hap somehow calls his bluff or Hap guesses, they know he's not expecting, he's going to sitting fastball and we're going to freeze him. A get me over curve 3-2. You don't really see that a lot.
Well, you know what? Gerrit threw a couple slow curves today. He threw 171. That I wonder, the Yankees saw that streak where they faced slow curves and they did really bad off of them, that I wonder if Gerrit was like, hey, maybe I got to mix in a couple slow boys to my repertoire.
He's usually good at, he flips them in their first pitch. He doesn't throw that. They don't like curveballs. No one really does in the league anymore. Good pitch when it works. I liked that one. I made a noise. I said, hoo, hoo, hoo.
Gerrit made some noises. How about that?
Gerrit Cole. Who have we not talked about? Soto, Judge. Anyone care about? Oh, I have an award. Found a flaw award.
Found a flaw.
Yep. Or like learning to read music award. That should make up for my earlier one.
Anthony Volpe.
No, jazz.
Oh, wow.
Music.
That's very on the nose. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I would Nestor as just a little distraction for the first 2 award names, you know?
What'd I say?
I don't know. You said, what was it? Distraction? Or
Found
learning.
a flaw.
Found a flaw. Learning.
Well, we've known flaws, so.
Right.
So learning.
Right. Learning.
Learning to read music.
Learning to read music. Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you find about jazz?
Stinks, 2 strikes.
Okay.
Like you can consider the at-bat over. He's got an OPS of 450, 240 plate appearances with 2 strikes, 5th lowest in the league. So, not everyone's a 2-strike hitter. He actually has different approaches when you see him at the plate. But I read those stats before this game started, and then as I was watching the 2-strike at-bats, I was like, oh, yeah, okay. I know a little more about watching you play now. And that's to say, it's the first thing. He's been great. The numbers are still phenomenal even with that. Like over the last 15 days, he got like a 380 or like 350 batting average. I didn't hit this series. No one did. But, yeah, I figured I'd share that nugget.
Okay. Yeah, he had there's a couple like left on left sliders early on that were like almost like, whoa. Again, this is nitpicking because he's been incredible. Yeah, interested to see what that is. Is it someone just told him never strike out looking early on, and he's not about that? Nobody hit.
No OPS could also mean he like does change his swing and it leads to the not hits. You know what I mean? Like, what if his batting average is great? That would be interesting if I go find this up and it's like, actually, he's like, you got 400 batting average, 2 strikes. Just no on base and no slugging. Well, if you have 400 batting average, you have on base, dumbass.
Yeah. Oh, no. Come on.
Splits by count. Number of outs, game outcome, count. 2 strikes. 175 batting average, 237 on base percentage, 277 slug. So everything else I still like. And that's what's of note. I liked that Volpe called him off on the last out of the game. And that he was like, yes, please, Anthony.
Yeah. Yeah.
You catch it, Anthony.
Fun dynamic to watch. You know,
Is that the end?
There was another number 13 that didn't like catching pop-ups at third base. Kay was excited for that.
I don't remember. I don't know who you're talking about.
No, I mean, the only other place I debated going for the award was Judge taking third on that double steal, but we already talked about that a little bit. Otherwise, we got a lot of it.
The best 2-strike hitter on your 2024 New York Yankees qualified plate appearances, 1, Duke Ellis. 1 for 1.
Another stolen base.
Why not? Oh, shit. On the Yankees, Jazz is second highest behind Judge, 2-strike OPS.
A new man.
He's a completely new man. Then Soto, then Trevino, then Gleyba, then Wells, then DJ, then Oswaldo Cabrera, then Volpe, then Stanton, then Grisham, then Rizzo, then Verdugo. Verdugo's going to break the record for ground outs to the right side.
Yeah.
All time.
Was there
Pretty wild.
Was there like a StatCast error on that original?
Yeah,
tweet or
yeah,
no?
yeah. 2015.
Okay.
Pretty recent.
Does sound better, but
Yeah.
and maybe it
Pretty
is
wild.
because he's gonna beat it like by 3 weeks or something. So
Like he's going to do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
woo, he got doubled up on that ball.
Imagine.
I don't know. You fake an injury. Yeah, you got to fake an injury. Team's the team. Barring injury, this team is the team. Which I want Martian to get a shot. I want Dominguez to come up. Otherwise, I very much like seeing the lineups. If you want to win, I think these are the guys you're going to win with. Oswaldo Cabrera should be getting run because now you're going to go, the whole bench is going to be ice cold. So it almost would be nice if they had a position to keep people fresh-ish in, which they do. But, Jazz, Volpe, Glaber, Rizzo, that's your infield. Verdugo, Judge, Soto, that's your outfield. Wells. So I'd be surprised if they start mixed. They should, I think, mix in like Oswaldo, Grisham every now and then. They're in a race with the Orioles. I was watching the Orioles game today, and when DeLuca homered, I cheered. So I thought to myself, oh, wow, I'm here. I threw on a sweatshirt and enjoyed the weather, and I'm cheering for other teams because I'm watching the scoreboard like it's September.
Yeah, you can deal with the Oswaldo stuff later. You got to go try to win a division, and if you win or lose, I mean, it's kind of the beauty of Oswaldo. He could start at a different place for a week and a half leading up to the playoffs.
Let's ask Boone that. Like,
Sure.
do you just rotate Oswaldo around the last 2 weeks because you need it? You can't just die on the vine. Or who cares? He's not going to answer. He might answer that. All right. One last note. Volpe, the plate's wider than you think. Okay, go Yanks. Tell him, Grams.
Go Yankees.